What happens to your shoulders in forward flexion? Lots of things. But it's definitely something that can be really, really confusing. And one way I like to teach people how to figure out what happens in the shoulder girdle in relationship to the neck as there is forward flexion through the thoracic is to load from spring below. So this is push through, spring below, one blue spring. We're gonna kind of do like a teaser, prep, push the bar up, call it whatever you want. So under you go. All right, now this to me is like the closest I will ever get to like these things in a gym. What are those called? Bench presses? I don't know, chime in if you know, right? Because it's just never occurred to me to like go and like push up something the weight of a human. Like it's just not something I'm gonna do. But what we see people do in gyms, because there's so much weight loaded on the bar, is lock back in their trap. Now you're gonna see this elevation in my thoracic and you're gonna see that I'm not in line, but they have so much weight on the bar that when they're doing the bench press in the gym, someone's spotting them and they've got this big arch of their back and they're going up. You're gonna hear my voice change because literally even this little blue sprig is like pushing into my windpipe. And then they, right? Okay. But since we're in Pilates and not in the gym, we're not going to do that, right? But, you know, that's something that a lot of people have seen visually or done. So that's where they think, okay, I'm going to push this bar. Let me go into this bar, right? What really this spring below is doing is putting me into my back body, which includes my entire thoracic, not just upper thoracic, low cervical. Right? So therefore, there's going to be this work across my upper abs and my upper obliques to help keep my rib cage. As the bar goes up, let the weight into your back. You strengthen the bones as they lengthen out from your back. And what does that mean? It means use your muscles more. But if I say use your muscles, then you're going to, not you, most people are going to go back into that gym thing because they think this is the muscles, right? More people do this than do this guy, which is a whole nother issue I'm not going to get into right now, right? Then it's the bringing the weight back down. It's actually really pushing into me more, right? Because if I were releasing my arms back into me, this is putting weight back into my back body. It's not and let go, right? Because now I'm back into this situation. As soon as I push up again, back I go. So I'm really looking for what I like to call your armpit abs. Lats, serratus, into obliques, into abdominals across the front of your ribs. How do those armpit abs allow the bones to reach out? Now I've got my knees bent, feet on the floor. My head coming up is not from my shoulder blades. It's from a little bit of flexion in the front of my throat, and then a lot more of my armpit abs tying into my front rib abs, and that's all pushing up into the spring. And instead of then just dropping in my shoulder girdle, which is what a lot of people love to do on the way down because they think, yay, repetition over, down I go. Right? You see that a lot, right? You've probably done it yourself before and you feel this like crush into your windpipe. Up into the bones, long through my armpit abs, tie the front of my ribs so much that my head has to lift. Now here's where I do need the strength of my shoulders. Okay, they are pushing into the bar, but they're bringing the tie of my ribs up out of the mat as well. It's the coming back down where I can't collapse. I have to let that last lumbar vertebra that left the mat back to the mat Here's where the rotation of the arms and shoulders comes in handy. Not up into the neck, but down around into those armpit abs, down around in those upper abs. That allows me the suspension to put down upper thoracic, cervical, and bend. One more time. Up. Exhale. Upper abs. Now here, my shoulders, my arms are pushing, and it's pushing my back up. But on the way down, that pelvis curls, the lumbar finds the mat. And here, instead of up into neck, upper trap, wrap around in those armpit abs, close those ribs. They'll open as your head comes down, elbows bend. Then, once you remove the bar and remove the weight, here I am with this idea of push up. Whether I'm doing teaser, whether I'm doing roll up, whether I just want to sit up and say hello. I need to push up into gravity like that bar. And as I push up into gravity, into the armpit abs, around into the ribs, I'm going to straighten my legs for leverage, come up into my roll up. I'm still coming up into the bar to go over, or sit up straight, or teaser, or any of the things. Coming back down, gravity is loading into me like the spring was. Curl the tail, low back. Here's the place everyone loves to collapse out of their shoulders. Wrap around into the armpit abs, tie into those upper abs, and down you go. Again, I'm talking lat serratus, and yes, your rotator cuff, tricep, right? How all of this works into those upper obliques and around into the front of the ribs. Note, I did not start by saying, pull the front of your ribs together. I'm not going to say that because that is an action of flexion. Neutral shouldn't be this grab down, because then look, I'm down on my abdomen now. Now, some people might be a little bit flared and a little bit barrel-chested and they need a little bit of hello, but that doesn't mean push down, because the minute you close and actually push down, you should be coming into flexion, your head should be coming up. If you start people, or if you start yourself, grip down into here. Well, see, now I got a whole lot to correct before I can actually pick up that part of my back. It's hard, and it's supposed to be.